So, as everyone knows, Max Blessed Holloway versus Dustin the Diamond Poirier Part 3 just got announced this past Friday, and I just want to give you my thoughts and opinions on this trilogy. And from the moment this fight got announced, or even when it was rumored, or even when Beneil Dariush said he heard that was the fight they wanted to go with, I've never been on board with Holloway versus Poirier 3. I hate this fight, and I hate it for a number of reasons, but I truly believe that this trilogy is a lose lose. It's a lose lose for the fans watching this fight, and even for the fighters involved, if that makes sense. Or actually, no, I don't. Is it a lose lose? Because if Max wins, he finally beats Dustin Poirier. He avenges the loss to Dustin Poirier, the two losses. And then if Dustin wins, he gets to go out on top. So it's not a lose lose for the fighters. Never mind, I take that back. But it's a lose lose for the fans watching, because Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier are both fan favorites. Everybody loves them. And if Dustin loses, he goes out on a loss. This is the last dance for Dustin Poirier. So I don't want him to go out on a loss. But at the same time, I don't want him to beat Max Holloway a third time. I mean, Max is my guy. I've been a ride or die Max Holloway fanboy, Max Holloway stan since 2017. But then I've also been a ride or die Dustin Poirier fan since 2021. Like, I ride with both of these guys. Maybe if this trilogy was happening at a different point in both guys' careers, I would be perfectly okay with it. But then let's break down what happens if Holloway loses. Because I said if Dustin loses, he loses his last fight, right? If Max loses, he goes 0-6 in trilogies in his career, which would be pretty embarrassing. Because right now, his record against Volkanovski is 0-3. He is the son of Alexander Volkanovski. He's never beat. I mean, he beat him in the second fight, and I'll die on that hill. But the record books show that the red signing right there, the loss column, that's in the second fight. So officially, he didn't win, even though in my opinion, subjectively, because it was close, I had Max winning, but my opinion doesn't matter. The judges' scoring gave it to Volk. So he's never went out there and got a win over Alexander Volkanovski, right? But he's also never got a win over Dustin. Dustin beat him again in 2019, and then he beat him the first time in, 2012, 13 years ago. That is insane. 13 years ago. So if Max loses again, he'll officially have 3 losses to Poirier, which would be pretty bad for his legacy. Not because of the quality of opponent. Dustin is not a horrible guy to lose to. But to have 2 trilogies and go 0-3 in 2 of them, that's a legacy herder right there. I'm sorry, that does burn his legacy. I don't care. Going 0-3 to anyone sucks. But another reason why this will be horrible for Max Holloway is after, losing to Poirier 5 years ago in his lightweight debut, he redeemed himself at lightweight literally 5 years ago, or 5 years later to the exact date. April 13th, 2019, loses his lightweight debut. But then, April 13th, 2024, his second lightweight fight, he wins the BMF belt against Justin Gaethje, where he was an underdog. He goes out there, he wins in dominant fashion, knocks him out literally at the bell. And in this, move to lightweight, Holloway was more prepared. Physically, he put on muscle. He became physically more equipped for this move to lightweight. Better lightweight shape, not a fat featherweight fighting in lightweight on short notice. He had a full camp, and he had time to prepare his body, and he overperformed. And he could have been in a position to literally be a lightweight title contender. He didn't have to go back down and chase that Ilya fight. Now, I don't blame him for doing that, because Volkanovski, his owner, had just temporarily lost the belt. That was a golden opportunity to potentially, be a two-time featherweight champion. But unfortunately, Ilya he's him. So Max Holloway got knocked out for the first time against him. So he went from having one of the biggest wins in his UFC career in his second lightweight fight to then moving back down to featherweight, getting knocked out for the first time. Max Holloway needs redemption, and I think he needs it more than Dustin in this fight, honestly. And it would be better for the division if Max won. It would be better for Max if he won, because he's back on track in the lightweight division. But should he lose this fight to Poirier, he will be 1-2. Or no, yeah, he'll be 1-2 in the lightweight division. Only one win to Gaethje and 2 losses to Poirier. And then guess what? He'll be further removed from the lightweight title picture. And I'm not worried about the 35 curse. Volkanovski gave me hope by being the first 35-plus-year-old to win a title fight in these lower weight classes, especially in the circumstances he was at in his career. He gave me hope. So Max can be 35 and become lightweight champ. That's not what I'm worried about. It's just, I may be contradicting myself, but he's so late into his career. I just feel like one more loss, like 2 losses in a row, one at featherweight and another at lightweight, would just set him back so much further, if that makes any sense. And of all matchups, the UFC couldn't have went with something else. Like, I've been calling for a BMF rematch between Holloway and Oliveira. That would have been the smarter fight to make, but Oliveira right now is chasing a title shot, and Poirier is chasing legends. So he's not going to fight one of these young up-and-comers or prospects. He wants someone with name value. Now, he could have fought Paddy the Baddy. That could have been an option, because Paddy is a star in the making, if he's not a star already. But maybe that's just not what he's looking for. And then I guess they could have made the Gaethje fight. That honestly made the most sense, but Gaethje said neither of his or Dustin's family deserves that third fight, so I guess they're not doing that, but that could have been an option. They could have literally made that fight, and instead they're going with the heartbreaker. They're hitting us where it hurts. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier 3. Now, their second fight was a banger. Okay, it was a great fight, and I'm sure this fight will be a great fight too. I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to be fun when it plays out on the night of. But whoever loses, it's going to suck. It's going to suck more if Holloway loses. Because again, 0-3 and then 0-6 in trilogies. He's going to go 0-3 and get his lightweight title hopes crushed by Dustin Poirier, who's literally going to retire after he wins, if he wins, right? And then where does Max Holloway go from there? He loses his BMF belt. He loses his aura. He's no longer a feared contender in the lightweight division. No one will take him seriously in terms of being a lightweight title threat if he loses to Dustin Poirier. But then again, like I said, if Poirier loses, I mean, it's over for him either way, but then he'll lose 2 in a row for the first time ever, and it will be sad to see him go out on a loss. No one wants that. No one wants Dustin to go out on a loss, and everyone wants him to retire as the BMF champion. But at the same time, no one wants Holloway to lose either. So I feel like the fans are really going to lose in this one, July 19th. Whichever happens, whatever happens. I mean, may the best man win. I mean, I hope it's Max. But if Max loses, my heart is still going to ache for Dustin Poirier. I love this fight when it was going to happen the second time around, because Holloway had his aura 100%. I mean, he still has aura in a way, don't get me wrong, but he was literally on a 13-fight win streak. He was the long-reigning featherweight champion. He had that aura of invincibility. His chin hadn't been cracked yet. You know? He was a massive favorite to beat Dustin in the rematch. So it felt like Holloway had nothing to lose in the second fight with Poirier. He still was the featherweight champion. Okay, he hadn't lost a rematch yet. This was the first rematch he ever lost. So it wouldn't have been bad 6 years ago for him to have lost to Poirier again. And it was an opportunity for Poirier to get one of the biggest wins of his career. Although he had already beat Max, he got to prove he's one of the best fighters in the world by beating a prime Holloway and becoming the interim champion, okay? That was the perfect story back then. Now it's just going to be depressing. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How excited and enthusiastic are you for this trilogy? Who do you guys got winning the trilogy? Like and subscribe, and peace out.